Welcome to the Post for All Season Sports Show. I'm Drew Rubenstein here again with Fred Wyant. And Fred, the WVU baseball season officially came to an end this past weekend when the NCAA baseball tournament field was announced, and WVU was one of the first teams left out of the field. The Mountaineers still haven't been in the NCAA tournament since 1996, but there have been steps in the right direction, so it seems, taken under head coach Randy Mazey, and next year the new stadium's going to be unveiled, and kind of curious when you look at the bigger picture where you could see WVU baseball fitting in the Big 12. Where do you see this thing growing, and how big can baseball become in this area, in your opinion?
Well, I think that in this area, they have to travel so far. It's hard to develop any relationships like Penn State versus West Virginia, Pitt versus West Virginia, and I think it's going to be hard. That, first of all, I know that field that's already there. Mm-hmm. That field is one of the best fields that they ever put in anywhere, drainage-wise, everything. It was right on campus. Now that's not going to be there. They're going to go out someplace where they'll have to fight bears to get into the seats and stuff like that. I think this guy has done a good job, and everybody that I've talked to that are baseball people have said that he seems to know what he's doing, but you have things that you have to do, and when your fans can't come to the games, which they'll be able to once they get the field, why sometimes it's hard to develop that kind of backing that you need to have.
Well, and West Virginia is that northern school, and we were talking, I mean, I'm interested even as you think back to your playing days, and I realize you didn't play every year when you were at WVU, but still the cold nature of how West Virginia is until, I mean, it can still be cold through Memorial Day in May. So, I mean, when so many of the baseball season's over by the end of May, and a lot of the home games can be played in March and April, and it can be snowing, it can be cold. Has that always been an issue? I mean, when you think back, were some of your games played before sparse crowds, and is that just the nature of the beast here?
Not as sparse as the ones they've had, because we played VPI. We were in the Southern Conference when the Southern Conference was a major conference. Mm-hmm. That's the Atlantic Coast Conference, and we played a lot of the small college, which they don't allow you to do the NCAA. Right. They won't allow them to play only so many, and you have a situation with people, and you could play Fairmont College. Mm-hmm. or West Liberty, and they'll bring a crowd that you couldn't get from Oklahoma State or someplace else. Mm-hmm. And that makes a difference with your teams. Mm-hmm. And yes, would it be nice if we could get into the World Series? Well, absolutely it would be. Do I think that they will? How many teams are there in the...
Well, yeah, as you progress, I mean, 64 make the field, and then it keeps going down, and the 8 into the College World Series.
How many schools are there that have baseball in this country?
Division I, it's well over 200, if not 300. Yeah. So
odds are not good. And again, you're sitting here. You don't have to go to work, and I don't have to go out any place, and somebody said, let's go out and watch the university play baseball today, and you say, well, we better get a couple of coats because it's snowing out. Yeah. It just isn't conducive to... Mm-hmm. I always said, and I love baseball and played it, you have to have somebody playing to go watch a baseball game.
Right.
I mean, it's got to be your brother, cousin, one of the little nephews or children or something like that. Now, will there be people that will argue? Yeah, there will, but that's the way it is.
Well, and I know Randy Mazey wouldn't necessarily disagree to an extent, because, I mean, he has hopes to see the college baseball move more into the summertime. But I also get the sense of one thing I wanted to ask you, that there is some sort of rich tradition of baseball in this state. It's not a huge state, but I mean, you're even part of that. There have been successful teams at the university, and there have been players that have gone on to the major leagues, and obviously now with Jed Jerko, there is. I get the sense that this community does enjoy baseball, and when there's a higher caliber of ball being played, they could rally around it. And I think we saw that a little bit with some of the Big 12 crowds during the spring when people started coming out the Holly when the sun came out and it was a little bit warmer, and it feels like it can go in a step in the right direction, but I guess how far is maybe the question.
Well, the semi-pro teams that they had. See, I played semi-pro baseball when I was 13, and I played on the best team in a 5 or a 6 state area around this state, and there was no television, so people came out to watch the play. Now there's television. Now there's all the little leagues. There was no little. I didn't play little league. Never. There wasn't little league. Okay. I played American Legion when I was 12 years old, and now they don't do that. So it's a different arrangement, and and people have other things they want to do.
That's interesting.
Baseball's not one of them.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I mean, and as a fan of the sport, I mean, what would you like to see? Do you think it would help to have college baseball move into the summertime? Would that be the answer to the problems, or would that just create a whole new set of issues?
No, I think it'd be a whole set of issues, because it's like that we're never going to play football on Friday evening in the fall, because that's the time for high schools. Now the pros are playing, the colleges are playing on Friday night and Thursday night, and so what does it do to the other sports? It just or the different grades and things like that. Why it makes it tough to draw a crowd, and when you're competing against number 1 against number 2 or something like that in the pros. So I think it doesn't help, and but I don't think they'll not do something about it, because everybody thinks that this is, you've got to have a major sport in every single thing. And when they're paying the golf coach what, 125 or 100?
I think he's starting off at 85, but it increases throughout.
10,000, yeah. And you have something like that. Well, how many times have you gone out and walked around and watched a golf match? Yeah.
I understand the point. Yeah.
Again, it's got. You have a relative there. Yeah. So I go out and watch them.
Right. Yeah. No, that's interesting. Fred, appreciate your time once again, and we'll dive into a lot of other topics throughout the summer. And again, we want to encourage folks to email or call in any questions that they have for me and Fred, and we'll discuss them on the next show. And till next week, Fred, appreciate it.
Okay, good, Drew. Thank you.
Please continue to check theedpost.com. Thanks for watching today.